Welcome to itdesk.tv. Now, you've often heard us talk about on this channel how we use technology to assist us. We use technology to make our jobs easier, using it to assist in whatever we're trying to do. And I've often talked about AI and how that can be used. And I've talked about just utilizing the tools available to us. If you remember, during the recent COVID pandemic here in the Caribbean, as it affected us in Jamaica and across the world, there was a need when persons were traveling to be tested and things of that nature. Persons were had to be given certificates to show that they could travel, that they did their COVID test and things of that nature. Also, in Jamaica, we had the Ministry of Health and Wellness that needed to be notified when someone turned up positive wherever across the country. But there was no system in place to do that. Now, this is where innovators come in, and that is where we, persons like myself, Topaz EMR, put our hands up. We created during that time of great need the Outbreaker. I'm going to show you that system from Topaz EMR today and show you how it works and how it's still available for any communicable diseases, the dengue, things of that nature. You could still use it for this. So if you know someone, you know a doctor, someone who needs this, and you yourself may have gotten one of these certificates in the past, but you didn't realize that it was this system that did that. I'm going to show you that today. Stay tuned. Now, facilities right across the country, right across the country, wherever you're at, you can self-register into this system. And when you self-register, all a person has to do who needs to get tested for any communicable disease is simply come to this website, topazemr.com, and self-register. I'm going to go ahead and click it. Now, when you come over into the Topaz EMR, there is a client self-registration portal that they can use, and you could fill out this information for yourself. Now, any facility that's a part of the system, they'll be in the drop-down list. So when you're registered as a facility, a user or a citizen or anyone who needs to be tested can easily find you on the list, choose who they want to get tested with, fill in their information on the secure site, accept the terms and condition, and select the date that they would like to get registered for and submit. And that's all they do, right? Those persons will be on the list to come in to those facilities and get their test. So it's a zero contact until the point when you're being tested and the point when you actually pay when you get there, okay? So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So here, if it's a new person, like I said, they can self-register. And after self-registering, I'm going to be using this demo one here, for example. They can come in, fill out their info, and you'll see it. All the info is listed right there. So the facility gets your information that you sent in, okay? I can place this person on the testing list from the facility, or the person can go self-register and place themselves on the testing list, okay? All right. There's a slot here on the website where if you want to advertise, that is for drug companies, facilities that are offering spots for doctors and things like those. It's a medical type thing. It's ecosystem for medical purposes. Okay, this is what the Topaz is. Medical, dental, optical, it's that field. The testing list will have the person who is supposed to be tested on there. Okay, so all they have to do is select the person. All right, there they are. They'll edit the record and they'll simply choose which test the person wants to do. And I want to show you something here, because here you have all those tests. Here's the COVID-19 various type tests. If they're testing them for cocaine, COC, THC, OPI/HR, these are medical terms. Measles, malaria, any one of those, dengue fever, which is a popular thing now, that's going on. And you're able to fill in all the information as it relates to this person. Are they sick? Are they having a fever? Are they having a cough? And these are check boxes that they'll use. When did they first have symptoms? They may have had it since Sunday, and so forth. And you work your way down this list and simply use the check boxes. Okay? Heart condition, do they have asthma? Do they have liver disease? Do they smoke? Anything like those, and update. Alright, I don't smoke. This is just for the test. Alright, now when this comes in, the facility has a login or a credential that's able to approve these. So this can be done at a satellite location, and the chief officer who has the credentials or has the permissions to approve these tests, they'll have to approve it before it can be printed. So that's another security feature, even for facilities that has many locations and you need some type of control. Here is a control on such a system. So when it's approved based on the person who is dealing with it, they can always come back here and generate the certificate. Okay. And this is basically what it's going to look like in the context. So you'll have the name of the facility. It will say Outbreaker Certificate. The name of the facility will be here. The name of the person will be here. The address, date of birth, their age. You notice it says pending here because that's what the status is. So it's not changed as yet. And down here you'll have the QR code. And if there's an authorized signature, it will come on here by default, and the company stamp, and you'll see topazemr.com. A lot of persons would have gotten these in the past during COVID when they're traveling. This was the system that was being used to generate it. Okay, so let's have a look at the edit, because the dengue test is pending. Now let's say it's negative, okay? And we update the record. Alright. So we don't want to unapprove it right now. Alright. So we want to generate the certificate. So we're going to generate the certificate again, and you'll see it there. Now it's negative, and so forth. What we're going to do here is we're going to print it to show you what it looks like on print number 1, and we're also going to send it via email. So this is what it looks like when it's printed. I'm going to make it maximized and show you. That's what it looked like, and that's what you got. And it was this system that gives you this information here. All right. The QR code has all the content of the information that's here for security reasons, right? And you could print this and give it to the customer, or give it to the patient, or give it to the client. And they'll be able to take this back to their workplace or wherever that is needed for, okay? So we're gonna talk about another feature in this system, because this system is very useful and it's actually pretty simple. All right, in addition to doing tests for persons, there is a built-in free electronic medical record system, a light version contained on here. So you have, for this same person that just did the test, if you needed to do a medical record for that person, now that you have their information, right? You could see it, Christopher Test, from Kingston, Jamaica, right? And email info@itdesk.tv. You could do what we call a clinical record, or you could have a past medical record for this person. All right. I'm looking at it here. Here's the past medical record for this individual. I scroll down, and you could have all this info here. You could edit if necessary. Edit if necessary the information for this individual. So in the age of technology, there is no reason, even if you needed to use a free version of the Topaz EMR Outbreaker as it relates to a electronic medical record system, it is being offered free on the platform. So as long as you're registered on here, you could technically utilize the system. And this is the Topaz EMR's Outbreaker secure system, and you could use it provided you have credentials and you're approved to do so. Okay, so look at the options here. So you do have past medical record. It assigns them an ID. All those conditions, asthma, cancer, cardiac disease, you check the one that applies. If none applies, you leave it unchecked. Gastrointestinal, and then you have allergies, substance abuse, medication history. You fill that stuff out and you update it. All right, and that's that. The record will be kept for the past medical history of this particular patient. The clinical records, all right, would be here. This is the one in the past. So it says in 2023, October 28th at 8:11 p.m., this person came in about severe headaches. So before you do a new record, you probably want to have a look to see what was that about. So if you click select, that's here, you're able to look at the record, okay, and see what was done on that record. It says that the chief complaint says the persistent headaches, coughing, and fever over 3 days, and so forth. And it's a lot of check boxes. You check what's needed, you leave what's not needed, you know. So I'm sorry, let me scroll slowly. So you have the history of the present illness, that's there. Medication history is there. It says it takes Excedrin frequently. This is just a test person, by the way. Review systems, normal, constitutional, normal, and you do the check boxes. So you can use this system. The doctors know exactly what this is about. They were consulted when this was being developed. So this was developed specifically at the standards as to what is required when doing a clinical examination, okay? And this is freely available on the Topaz EMR platform. As long as a doctor has a package in here and they have access to the platform, they can use it, okay? If you needed to add a new clinical record, right, they just click the add clinical, all right, and they'll get a new clinical, they'll select it, and they'll simply go in here and edit as to whatever they need to do. All right. Now, if you need to get a package, for example, in order to use the test certificates, this is how it's set up. You could hit certificate top up at any time, and it takes you to the main website. And you could simply choose a package of your choice that you want to use. Okay. Now you could use, you could take from 50, that would be, and the price will be displayed, and this is in US dollars. And you go on here and you buy the package that you need. So you'll be able to generate certificates for persons for all those communicable diseases. When you're finished with all of that, you'll be updated automatically within 30 minutes or so, and you'll be good to go. The beautiful thing about the Topaz EMR Outbreaker system is that the government does have access to it. So if there are persons from that side who will know when a when a disease that needs to be reported pops up on the radar across the country. Only the ones that need to be reported. From their perspective, they have their own screens with their own dashboard, and they'll be able to get those numbers by you just simply using the system. And this is what's required, that the ministry gets this info by law. Okay, so it's information that they're supposed to know in order to know what's going on. If there's an outbreak going on out there, the government will know the numbers by you using a system like this. Consolidated, a freely available system that you could go in and use, and when you process communicable diseases, they'll know, and they'll know who the persons are so they can make the relevant contact. That's how we use technology to enhance healthcare. And there has been a push in recent days talking about that. So this is in line with that to enhance that process. itdesk.tv, unlocking doors.